everybody, and welcome to Break Time Conversations, a YouTube channel where I have conversations around education. I have been a teacher all my life, and along my journey, I have met so many interesting and inspiring people. And so I decided to document my conversations with them here so that all of you can hear their stories and the amazing work that they do. I'm here today with Dimple George. She's a product development associate at Meraki Foundation. And Meraki Foundation works in the space of early childhood education and parenting support. Hi, Dimple, and thank you for being here.
Hi, Anup, and thanks for having me. Actually, it's such an honor.
Yes, it's an honor to have you here with me. And I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about today, which is parenting in India, especially in the early childhood years. So, Dimple, I'd like to just start off this conversation by hearing your views, especially since you're working in this space. Why don't you share something about parenting in the early childhood years?
Okay, so thank you, Anupa. So I think I'll begin by sharing about what is so special about the early childhood years. I think uh, from what the science tells us is that these years are extremely important because these are the years where the brain is developing in a rapid manner. So there is a lot of activity happening in the brain, and by the time a child is 6 years of age, 90% of the brain development has already taken place, and a lot of the action that happens in the brain has already happened by the time the child is 6 years of age. So it's almost like these years are like a window of opportunity where we can do a lot of things that can set the child up for success in both school and in life as well. So in that sense, these years are extremely important. And we also know that there are these periods of critical periods or sensitive periods for different domains of development, like sensory development, language development, where there's a lot of activity happening in the brain, where if the child gets stimulation in those periods, then the child will develop those areas, and if the stimulation doesn't happen, then it is possible that the child will lose that capability. So just to give an example, in animal studies, there was a study that they closed one eye of a rat, and so that eye did not did not get any kind of stimulation, and then the rat actually remained blind for its entire life. So I think the this similar things have been found in humans also. So in that way we realize ki this, in terms of brain development and development of certain capacities like sensory capacities and language and cognition, everything, these years are really really foundational, and if we miss certain periods, then it's very difficult to get them back or really do anything about it in a later stage. So in that sense, these years are really like the brain is like a sponge, and we can mold it the way we want and really help a child, or really maybe even not even neglect and abuse can really cause a lot of harm for the child as well. So in that sense, it's really important. So this is where parenting comes in, where parents in this way have a very very important role to play in terms of providing stimulation to their child, providing a loving environment, becoming that secure base using which the child can explore the world, and if anything bad or anything scary happens, they know that they have this support back at home and with their parent. So in that sense, I think parents become really really important in shaping the child's brain, also the child's experiences, everything, and really make or break the child's life in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So, how do you raise awareness about this? Because I know that, I mean, even with the schools that I work with, there are many parents who are so caught up with their day to day lives, or there's just a single mother who's trying to make ends meet and has to work day and night. So, how do you help them, understand the importance of these early years?
Yes, I think that's a very good question. A lot of the times I think because we've been working in the parenting space, and we know there isn't a lot of support for parents in terms of knowing about the importance of early years, knowing how they can create a positive environment at home, like how do you praise a child, how do you manage their challenging behavior without getting angry, without beating them or something like that. So I think we realize there isn't an institutional support for parents in that sense. So the what we do is essentially that we accept this fact that parents don't have time, especially in low income settings where we work. We realize that parents don't have time, they don't really have the education or background to really understand or have access to the kind of science that we are talking about. And they are because of the working conditions, they're extremely stressed out. And there are many challenges that a lot of the parents that we are working with face. So it's either putting food on the table or playing with your child. So both are important, but they're only able to do one, and they're mostly unaware of the second aspect. So a lot of the times what we do is what we before we start any program, whether it's a workshop with where parents come in and talk about these issues, a lot of the times it's the community women or the Anganwadi workers sort of working to create awareness about this. They visit parents, they talk about they show them the numbers. Especially, I think that is something that really helps when they realize, ki, okay, these certain section of the society and these number of children are not doing well because of certain reasons. And what are those reasons? What can they do to support them? And as soon as they realize that they have an important role to play, and it is something that contributes to their child, because education is something that is very important. They want their child to learn. So when they realize that sending to school is not enough, the home environment is also crucial. Early years are extremely crucial. When that light sort of uh, when that bulb sort of gets lit, then it's sort of like a aha moment, and they realize, okay, this is important, and these are changes that I am willing to do.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was just going to ask, have you seen any changes while you've been working? So, what are the other challenges that you face while working with these parents?
I think there are a number of challenges that we have encountered while working. I think a lot of the times is mostly about because most of the times mothers are the primary caregivers. So these are it's mostly women who come to any workshop that we are doing or any service that we're providing. They are the primary beneficiaries because they spend a lot of time with their child. They are more interested in knowing about what I can do, and they understand these things more. And a lot of the time, because Anganwadi workers are also women, community women that we work with are also women, they have more contact with women. So I think in those ways, women are primary beneficiaries. And the challenges we face is that a lot of the times, I remember, if we were doing this workshops in Delhi, and a lot of the times families didn't really want women to go out and attend these workshops because they were really suspicious about what are they teaching our daughter-in-laws, and a lot of the times husbands didn't want them to go because I remember one of the we were running this resilient parenting program, and one of the topics was on assertive communication. How can women be assertive in their homes, in with their children also, and how can they sort of lobby for the benefit of their child and create that kind of an environment at home? So assertive communication, so that is something which can be slightly controversial because in a lot of ways we are saying ki you have that agency, you have that you are valuable, you should really communicate your needs and stand for yourself. So these things really can be really challenging. So in terms of attendance, that can be an issue when suddenly they stop coming, and then we have to the community women often go and talk and sort of console them, that comfort them that this is not really something that's going to affect the family or anything like that. It's for the benefit of the child, for the benefit of the parent and everything. And this is one of the issues. And then timing, especially a lot of the times, managing household work. And a lot of the times these workshops are in the afternoon. We usually time it so that the parents, more majority of parents can come. But a lot of the times, because of household chores, it's very difficult for them to manage. And Also, sort of the challenge also comes across. Yeah, how do you distill all of this knowledge and skills that you want to communicate in such a short period of time? And also, when they parents don't have a lot of experience in being in a classroom or in a workshop type setting, how do you really create experiences that really connect with them and really meet them where they are? So I think that is also sometimes a challenge, so to not keep them not get not let them get bored and everything. So yeah, these are some of the challenges that we have faced, but more or less, I think uh, a lot of the times it's usually a positive result at the end.
That's wonderful to hear. Is there anything that you do for the fathers, especially? I mean, like, to motivate them or to bring them
Yeah.
on board?
Okay, so I think our major our major understanding is that it's not enough for one family member to be aware of these things and to follow these things, because it's like somebody knows how to listen well, but the other people are not in on it. So it's just one person who has knows listening skill and is listening to everybody, but there is nobody to listen to that person. So I think we honestly, as an organization, also believe that every family member is important, and if grandparents are coming, more than welcome. If fathers want to come, more than welcome. But I think from community experience, we have realized ki fathers generally, even if they come for a few sessions, then they stop coming. It's really difficult to get hold of them. But I think something that we have tried to do is how can how can women who are coming to our meeting structure some time with to talk with their husbands and talk with their family members about what they're learning, what they are, what is it that they found new and exciting and everything, to share their experiences. So even the women who are conducting the workshops, they were also doing this thing. So they saw kind of a shift, sort of a, I mean, it's not something that is measurable or anything like that, but they realize that okay, this is something that they're getting, they're understanding, and it's something positive that's happening. But it is a challenge. I'll agree to that. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, there is so much research, everything that tells us that as soon as fathers start getting involved, it's just a boon. It's just additional uh, a gain to the child's development.
Yeah, I know. I see the difference when both parents are involved,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that's so interesting, Dimple. Such interesting things and something new. Actually, I've never really spoken to somebody who's working with parents, especially in the early years. You know, that's really interesting.
So now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about what your, especially in the early years, what kind of role did your father and also your mother sort of play, and how has that impacted you, and what have you learned from them? Because I think looked up your father, and I think there is so much material out there, and so influential, and even everybody is like he's a one of the best educationists we have, and I was really fascinated, inspired to learn about that. So I think we should really hear from you about what your experience has been and
Yeah, I think I
how.
was really blessed to have wonderful parents and a very stimulating and interesting childhood. And even though my dad was really busy because he was, setting up, he had this vision of starting this NGO and he was busy setting it up
Hmm.
on his own. But my mom really stepped in every time he wasn't there, and she played the role of
Hmm.
both parents. And when he was there, he was, very involved and very supportive. So yeah, I think I was very blessed. And how it has impacted me, I think it impacted me as a parent myself.
Hmm.
So however I was raised, I it automatically, it just, without even me thinking, it came naturally to me to raise my children in the same way. So
Hmm.
it was all about reading and manners, and it was not, they were not so they didn't were not so thing about academics. Like I didn't have to achieve much
Mm-hmm.
academically, but it was more about character development and formation. So
Right.
I see myself doing the same with my own children. And so I guess
Okay.
that's the greatest impact, right? That I can say that as it impacted me as a parent when I became a parent myself.
So I think the focus is on not about becoming a studious person or intelligent person, but about becoming like a good person, like
Yes,
a
yes,
human being. So
yes.
that's the focus.
Yeah, the
I think.
focus was how we can influence the people around us, how we can impact the people positively. And like everyone always talks about why I'm always smiling. And that's something that I learned from them as well. You know, they said that a smile
Oh,
can do wonders. And now
right,
it's just so part of me that I cannot not smile.
right. I mean, I think this one of the books that I read in that there were a lot of adults in the room and they were all sort of gloomy and everything. And a child came and started laughing and smiling, and suddenly everybody started laughing. So, smile is so contagious
Yeah.
and really makes your heart really happy and everything. So, I think that's one
Yeah.
of the best things a parent can give to a
My
child.
mother used to always say it takes 33 muscles or something to frown and
Mm,
only three muscles to smile. So
right.
yeah. Yeah. Do you have any more questions
Yeah.
for me? This is the first time someone's actually asked me a question.
No, I thought it's just so natural because it's we are talking about parenting and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
it is. I think I don't know how many children do these things for in memory of their parents or some anything for their parents. So it's really inspiring. So I
yeah.
thought we should.
I guess if I was impacted, this is why I'm doing it. And
Hmm,
yes, my heart goes out to all parents because it's really not an easy thing. And
not at all.
so many people have kids because society expects them to, or
Hmm,
because it's the next
right.
best thing to do after getting married. But no one realizes how difficult it is. And
Yes.
well, thank you so much for sharing your experience. And you and the rest of the organization are doing an amazing work because it's really something that not many people think of, right? You know,
Hmm,
working with the
right.
parents, we're always focusing on the child and
Children,
academics and this and that. No
teachers.
one's really paying attention to the parents, and especially from, the lower income
Yeah.
groups. So I hope that you do wonders, and I hope that more people will do the work that you're doing in our country.
Yeah, I think a lot of this field is really coming up, and a lot of people are, especially after COVID-19, when they realized that parents have become first responders,
Yeah.
their mental health, they also need support. I think a lot of things started coming up, and I'm sure that it's going to be a huge thing going forward.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Dimple. Thank you so much. And I hope to chat
Thank
with you
you.
again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Bye,
Take
Dimple.
care.
Bye for now.
Bye.